Ashmeen Chand had been ill for 15 years and was told by doctors she may die. But an experience changed her life and turned it the right way up. Ashmeen joins us now on Turning Point. Thank you so much for joining us. So Ashmeen, tell me about the years of being ill. 15 years is a long time. What was wrong with you?
Okay, in 1998, I was pregnant with my second baby. And while I was 6 months pregnant, doctors found out that my both kidneys were failed, right? So they took out the baby. They did a C-section and took out the baby, and somehow they survived my baby. They told me that the baby was going to die too, right? So the doctors, they did C-section and took out the baby, and right after the baby was taken out, like after 2 months, they put me on dialysis because I lost my both kidneys. Right. So in 2000, I had a kidney transplant, and
it was successful, the kidney transplant?
At the beginning, it was successful, but later I got more sick. And then I lost my both hips, and I couldn't walk at all. And I was like really sick. I was in the hospital for almost 15 years, like on and off. And then in those 15 years, I would be just stay in the hospital and come home. And then one time I had this big lumps on my both legs. Mm-hmm. So I was going back to the hospital again, and doctors found out that it was a very serious illness. Okay. They told me that if the lump will spread in my body, it will kill me.
But let me ask you though, so all this time, were you a Christian or were you still practicing Hindu?
I was still a Hindu. I was not Christian that time. I was still Hindu.
And what impact did that have on your religion? Because with the Hindu religion, there were many gods to pray to.
That's right.
And what were your prayers like? And obviously they weren't being answered, I guess, but what were you going through in terms of your religion?
I was praying for a Hindu god too, and I used to go to so many temples, right? And nothing was helping me. I went through too many temples, nothing helped me, but I was still sick. I was still praying for the Hindu god, but I was not finding any healness or any relief, right?
So let me ask though, what impact did the illnesses over the 15 years have on your family? Because your husband was around and then the kids were around. How did it affect them?
My husband was really depressed and he was really like stressed out. And my kids, like, they were not getting my love. They were like following the wrong path. My son was in gangs, like doing drugs and everything. And my husband, he really wanted to kill himself too, just because I was going through so much and he was not like, he had to work outside and then he had to take care of the kids too, right?
Did you ever at any point feel like giving up? Because, I mean, the pain must have been something to bear, the mental anguish, and then to watch your husband in pain of his own, watch the children. Did you ever think, you know, this is too much for me, I want to end it now?
Actually, I did. One day I tried to commit a suicide, but my husband doesn't know till now, because I was going through so much. And every time my husband used to have so much pressure on him. He used to get angry all the time. So I did try to commit a suicide, but it didn't work for me.
So
yeah.
Tell us about the turning point, because it's quite an exciting story. So the doctor said this lump in your leg, if it traveled up, you could die.
I could.
And then what happened?
So they kept me in the hospital, right? So I was still in the hospital, and they were treating my lumps, and then all of a sudden they found out that I was having tuberculosis too. So they kept me.
So you were coughing up blood?
I was coughing out blood, that's right. And they kept me in the hospital for 2 months. And then in 2 months I was in the hospital.
Wow. So here you are, hips are not working, kidneys are not working, coughing up blood. The family's upside down.
That's right.
And where was the turnaround? How did the turnaround happen?
Actually, I was in the hospital, and one day I called one of my friends. She works with me. She was a Christian sister. So I was crying to her, and I was telling her that I just want to die, that's all. And then that's when she told me about Jesus. So
she tells you about Jesus.
yes, that's right.
And I mean, how long did it take her to tell you about this Jesus?
we had a conversation like for almost like half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she told me that you should come to our church and we'll pray for you, right? And then she said that Jesus will heal you. So I came out from the hospital. Actually, meanwhile, when I was in the hospital, she told about myself to her pastor,
Okay.
and the pastor called me, and she started praying for me through the phone, and I was receiving healing instantly in my body.
So the pastor was praying for you over the phone, and what was happening? Did you feel how did you know you were receiving the healing?
Actually, the blood that I was coughing at was just lots of blood, right? And then as she started praying, and the blood completely stopped coming out from my mouth. And then when the doctors checked my heart X-ray, they said that there's no tuberculosis in your body.
Wow.
Yes.
So fast forward, you're healed. How many years has it been now?
Actually, it was in 2012 when I gave my life to Christ.
So now we're in 2016, so it's been 4 years?
4 years. Yeah, in that 4 years, like, Jesus has healed me completely. I have no sickness in my body. Like, it's been 4 years now. I haven't been admitted in the hospital.
And what impact has that had on your family?
Like
your husband and your children, how did this affect them?
Actually, when we went to the church, the very first time we went to the church, Jesus touched my husband, and then when he came home, he was totally a different person. He said, "All my stress is gone." He was so happy. I never saw him happy like that before. Like before, my family was not that happy. After we gave our life to Christ, my family is so happy now. Like my kids are so happy. My husband is a totally changed person now, and I'm so happy. And it just changed our life all around. Yeah.